A whole lot of continuity is coming to Apple products. Ah. Hi, I'm Aaron Jones and welcome to my vlog coming to you from Nihama in Japan. And today on my vlog I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the Apple's WWDC keynote that was done on June 2nd. And if you watched my other blog where I talked about my predictions, well, this is what I'm going to talk about today. The things that I thought were cool that were announced during the keynote. Now, as I mentioned in the other vlog, as you may know, I live in Japan, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stay up and watch it because it was on Tuesday morning at 2 in the morning. But guess what? I stayed up and I watched it. I watched it with headphones, watching it off my iPad, and since then I've watched some other analysis, read some articles, and today I wanted to talk about some of the things that I think are cool that were announced at the keynote on Monday. If you want to, there's a lot of sites that have lots of good breakdowns, or you can go and watch it on YouTube. You can watch the actual event on YouTube or on the Apple website. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that I like that I thought were cool, because since I use an iPad, I use an iPhone, and I use a MacBook Pro, I'm in the Apple ecosystem. I use their products, and so a lot of the announcements were things that I liked. And first I'll go in order of the things that they did. The first thing they did was they introduced the next version of the Mac OS Yosemite, and I had guessed that was probably the name because not just me, but on the internet, because of the picture that was shown in setting up. And I did like some of the ideas of the widgets and coming in a notification center, though I don't use it that much, but maybe with widgets in there I may use it more often. And the new Safari seemed really good. I'm looking forward to using that. I use Google Chrome, but it sometimes can be a little bit slow on the Mac, so let's see how the new Safari is. I'll give it a try for a while. And there was some mail stuff. iCloud Drive. I had mentioned in my last vlog that I was hoping that they would do a system like a Google Drive for iCloud, and they did. They announced it. So, what I like about this as well is that when you open up what are they calling it? iCloud Drive. Can't speak. You can put any files in there just like you could for Google Chrome, Google Drive, or the other kinds. Dropbox is the other one. But also the applications that store their own data is also available in there, so that you can get to it that way, and you can open up data from another application into your application through the iCloud Drive system. And it works on Mac OS, it works on iOS, and it works on Windows apparently. So that's very interesting, and I think it's very useful. And some people have mentioned that this would be useful too if they would have an application for Android. So if you had an Android product, you could also use that system. And they had some new pricing. I don't remember exactly the pricing, but iCloud pricing is going to drop and going to become very competitive with Google Drive, and very affordable for a lot of space, and I think forcing more people to use it. But the big thing I liked was the thing that they introduced called continuity. Since I use an iPad and an iPhone and a Mac, the continuity thing that they showed, I think, is the biggest potential for me, where you're doing something, say on the iPad, your Mac recognizes that your iPad is near and that you're working on a file, and it alerts you. Click the thing on the Mac, opens up the program right to the same file that you're working on, and you can continue on your Mac. Oh, there goes the phone again. And vice versa, if you're working on the Mac, your iPad recognizes that you're working on something, you can open right directly to that file automatically. As well as between iPhone and iPad, it works that way. It kind of makes everything work well. As well as AirDrop. AirDrop is a system, if you don't know, it's a system for connecting Macintoshes to send files. There's also an iDrop on the iPhone, but it only works between iOS devices, and iOS to Mac doesn't work, but it will with the new update. So I'm looking forward to that. Phone calls on the Mac, so that if your iPhone rings, you can answer the phone on your Mac, or you can answer it on your iPad. This continuity thing, how everything is going to work together more smooth, sounds great. Now, hopefully it works well, and hopefully I will try this out. And for iOS 8, interactive notifications is very useful, I think. Something that was long overdue, I believe, for the OS. Updated keyboards, and in the developer section, they talked about being able to use third-party keyboards. I'll try them out. I'm not really disappointed at all with the iPhone's keyboard. Works fine with me. And you can send voice messages through iChat, iMessage now, and video messages like short walkie-talkie styles rather than just text. And also the iMessage on the Mac will be able to take your SMS information and relay it to the Mac for iMessage on the Mac and on the iPad, which I think is really good because I like using iMessage on my Mac sometimes and switching back and forth. But now with the SMS messages, I can get them there as well. Everything is going to be more in continuity. But I hope it works well. That's the thing. Can they pull this off? And those are some of the main things, and some new ways of editing things, editing photos. They've not just editing photos, but when they did the developer thing, a way of applications, one application to use an extension from another application. So they're opening up a safe way for applications to communicate to each other. So you can open up, in the example that they did in the thing is they open up the photo app on the iPhone, and they will be able to hit the extensions button, and then from another application that's already being downloaded, open up a special extension pane that comes up, and he's able to choose his own filters for that program, or share that, or when you're using a browser, you can, if you have Pinterest has its extension, and in the browser you can call up that extension and then easily go through the pictures on a certain web page and share those photos. And I think that's going to be really, really useful, and I'm looking forward to that. And then a way of using Siri hands-free. So if you're driving and you plug in your iPhone, you can say, "Hey Siri," and then that'll work. That works well for me because in my car I have a navigation system. My iPhone connects to it by Bluetooth, and I can use the phone through it, and I can use Siri, but pressing the buttons is a little bit dangerous. But now if I just plug it into the lighting socket to make sure it has to the light socket, or the cigarette lighter thing, power thing, to get power, I can just say, "Hey Siri, phone so-and-so," and I can phone right from my car. And there was some home automation stuff mentioned, the APIs. So basically with the health kit stuff as well, basically with the APIs for the health kit and the, what was the home one, what are they gonna call it? A home kit, the health kit and home kit. Third-party manufacturers can call on, if they want, they can make their devices their own way, but they can make the API that calls on the iOS one, and so that you can control everything with your iPhone. And this way that different devices from different companies can work together to control devices. In the example he showed it to Craig Fagarini, he mentioned was so you can link devices, and then you can set them in scenes. And for example, you can set a bunch of devices together, and you can say, "Siri, good night," and then Siri will turn off the garage, or shut the garage door, and turn off the lights or dim the lights, and whatever. All together you can set things and then control them that way. As well with the health, everything is put together, and they were connected with some medical facilities where doctors could interact with the information. It wasn't really explained how that would work, and being in Japan, if that will be useful for me here, but collecting different health data would be useful. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I haven't really used very many health applications on my phone, but with the health app, maybe it would help me to want to do that and motivate me to try to be more healthy. Anyways, and one of the big things, I'm not a developer, I can't program, but one of the big things is they have now introduced their new language, their own language called Swift, and updated Xcode, and to make the programming process better and more efficient and running better, and They added a new graphics thing called Metal that improves the graphics. Like I said, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know much about that. But as a consumer, continuity thing is going to be the biggest for me. So I'm looking forward to iOS 8 release and macOS Yosemite to come out as soon as possible. Now there is a beta program, but I don't want to go onto the beta program and download them because I use my devices and I don't want to put beta software on there that could cause me to have some problems. But anyways, this video went on long enough, but that's just my thoughts and what I liked about the WWDC. I thought that it was very fun and full of information, and I think there's going to be a lot of neat and changing things that we don't even imagine coming out for the Mac ecosystem for both Mac OS and iOS. So I'm looking forward to, after they come out, these two versions, the Mac OS and the iOS come out, and what is going to follow, what are developers and what are hardware manufacturers going to bring out that will make my life better. Anyways, that's all for this blog, and I won't blog about Apple stuff for a while. I'll take a break from that and go back to my regular blogs. But if you like to follow what I'm doing, you can subscribe to get notified and keep up to date what's going on. If you like the video, like it. Until next time, see you then. Bye bye.